All right, you guys, good morning. Happy Thursday. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. We all know Thursday is our virtual coffee today. I've got my iced coffee right here. So happy to have all of you guys on joining us. Um, Couple of quick reminders. Cameras on. We are here for networking and building relationships, and it will also help the presenter understand if you get what he's saying or if you don't get it because you have that puzzled look on your face. So cameras on, full participation. If you are not the person intentionally talking at the time, please keep yourself muted because inevitably you can be in the quietest place and inevitably the dog will bark, the doorbell will ring, something will happen, and it will kind of disturb what's going on. So please keep yourself muted. When we get to questions and answers, feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question or raise your hand, however you want to do that. This morning, we have the pleasure of having a guest who is kind of staying up late to visit with us. We're all up in the morning having coffee, and he's in Ireland, and so it's his bedtime. Well, probably. But he agreed to hang out with us this morning and talk to us about TikTok and how he has built his business and how he helps other people build their business on TikTok. And so we're going to have a little special focus on real estate, but I do want to introduce Joshua Moore, and I'm looking for him to spotlight. There we go. So Joshua, welcome to the call. We're so excited to have you here and learn from you. So tell us all what we need. Well, first of all, tell us who you are and how you got into this, and then what we need to know.
Hello, everyone. And it's so great. First off, thanks, Debbie, for inviting me. And I love talking TikTok, so I appreciate the opportunity. Love hearing where everyone is from as well. I am based in Ireland right now. I live traveling my motorhome with my wife and young kids. We're currently in Ireland, but we travel all over. But we're here to talk about TikTok. So I will share those. I'll answer those questions, who I am, what it is that I do. I will share some reasons as to why you should be on TikTok. And I've also got a mini training I'm going to do for everyone, which is basically content ideas. Because I know one of the biggest challenges is like, how can I create content? What do I need to talk about? And that's usually why most people don't get started on any social media. Okay, so, but the way that I like to start this first is I want to ask a quick question. And this is a yes or no. So in the comments, say, are you on TikTok? Just put a yes or no in the comments, right? Do that, and I would explain who I am, and then I'll go look through some answers. So my name is Josh. I'm also known as Ginger Marketer on TikTok. Predominantly, my role, you may say, is I'm a TikTok growth coach. What does that even mean? It means helping business owners, creators to not only learn how to get more traffic to their business, but also how to convert that traffic, i.e., how to get viral views, how to get followers, engagement, leads, and ultimately, especially for real estate, how to be setting more appointments from the audience. Okay, so it's all about building brand awareness and converting that attention. I've been doing this 5 years. I've grown to over 800,000 followers on my TikTok account. I don't spend hours posting. I don't do dance trends. I don't shake my ass or anything like that. Okay. My content, it takes me about 15, 20 minutes a day. I put out that content. And ultimately, over the past 5 years, I've generated in excess of $700,000 from doing that. Now, you're probably like, well, Josh, you're not a real estate agent, so why are you and who are you to be teaching us this stuff? Because you're probably selling something different, coaching, consulting. Yes, but I'm an educator. I educate people in the market and then I help them, kind of like what all you guys do and gals, right? You educate people on real estate, mortgages, loans, etc., etc. Okay, so the same in what I teach, it all very much applies. If you're not on TikTok right now, I would have to go. If you've put yes or no in the comments, I see some kind of comments coming through. If you answered no to that, I would have to ask you the next question, which is why, right? What is preventing you or what is stopping you from joining TikTok? And this is usually where, again, I don't want to feed you information. People think it's a dance app. I don't have time. It doesn't work. All of the kind of things that come out with that as well. So let me go through. I will go through in the Q&A and I'll literally address every single one of those. But that's who I am. I've got some training. Cool. So with any social media, right? We know we should be posting. We know we should be creating content. We see other agents doing it. I don't know if you're on TikTok, you've probably seen the likes of Ryan Serhant. There's others that are doing amazing stuff with social media. But just looking through the comments, most people are like, I don't know what to post. And this is literally what we're going to address today. And I teach TikTok specifically. That's what I'm versed in. But what I'm going to teach you today, because what I teach is the foundations of content creation, it's all backed around psychology and systems. This can be applied to any other social media. Okay. I just help you package it up for TikTok videos. But I think this could be helpful if you're on social media and you're posting. So I don't know what to post is something you'll never say again after this. It's a big promise. And you're probably out there is like, huh, I don't believe you. I've seen loads of YouTube videos and people claiming all this and it's never worked for me. I still don't know what to post. Cool. So I get there's some skepticism. But by the end of this, trust me, you won't have that skepticism. So by the end, you'll be able to create relevant content, engaging, it's thought provoking, and it'll help drive leads and sales a whole lot easier after you do these exercises. And by the way, I'll either link this in the chat or send it to Debbie. She can send it out to you. So you've got a copy of this as well, because it's kind of like your content Bible. So people often think everything they post has to be value, like tips, educational videos, lengthy blog type content, and more. But the truth is that value comes in many shapes and sizes. It's not just a one size fits all. Okay. And what are some examples of this? Discussions are valuable. We're going to have a short discussion after this. I think we're going to break out into rooms and we're going to discuss, hey, here's who I'm working on, what I'm looking for, here's what I do. Sometimes you have just discussions day to day with friends, with family, with clients. Humor is valuable, right? Making people laugh. TikTok tends to be a bit more of an entertaining, fun app. And when I say like humor, I'm not talking around like, hey, you have to tell jokes or anything. It's doing things in a different way that is humorous or it's entertaining to people. News, industry updates, this is all super valuable because people want to know what's going on in the world of real estate or the specific niche that you're in. And sharing ideas, getting help is valuable. This is literally four. There's about 100 others that I could say is value. So first is about redefining what value actually is. It's not just here's 3 tips. So what I'd like you to do now, and this is just an exercise I want you all to do. I want you to think about something that has even happened in your day. Maybe it's the past 10 minutes, maybe it's the past day, the last month, or even this year. An experience, an idea that you maybe had in the shower, or maybe you saw something in your news feed. You looked at the papers, you checked the news channels, anything. And I want you to practice turning this into content. And what this does, it will help you make posts in less than 2 minutes just by sharing, commenting, or just opening up a discussion. Very simple. People, the idea of people thinking, well, I don't know what to post, I have never got any ideas. It's like, well, you have ideas, but you're not just taking those ideas and making piece of content around them because you probably think that that idea isn't worth an idea. It's probably going to lead to low views or it's not going to get much engagement. Cool. That's a valid thing. But I could tell you now that out of the hundreds of thousands of dollars that I've made, none of them ever commented on my stuff. I never even knew they existed. So one of the hardest things around TikTok or any social media is sometimes you're just posting into the void. And it feels that way. But when that aha moment hits, you've shared an idea or a post, that person, they're going to put the hand up and say, hey, I want to work with you. I want to hire you. It's happened to me countless times. So I call this the everyday content method. And it is super, super easy to implement. And it follows this framework. So let me share some insights as to why you have a problem when it comes to creating content. So usually what happens is we're told we need to create content. It's amazing for our business. It can do so many great things for our business, right? And that usually happens. You go and you say, hey, I've time blocked an hour to create content today, right? So you sit there, you open up your phone, you think about creating content, and then you freak out because with your current worldview on what content creation is, you think that every piece that you create, every post, every TikTok, every Instagram, every Facebook, LinkedIn, email has to be some perfect masterpiece that sends a flood of leads to buy from you, right? You have all the best intentions, but when you open up TikTok, if you're on TikTok, there's fear, there's self-judgment, and that all sets in. So you start questioning yourself. I can never think of what to post. What are people going to think of me? I haven't brushed my hair today. By the way, I haven't brushed my hair today either. So ladies, men, if you've got long hair, that's fine, right? I'm on this camera now. One funny thing, I had a shave earlier. I look like a baby. I've not been clean shaven for years, and I'm self-conscious of myself right now, but I'm still here. I'm not hiding my mask. How come this is so easy for other people? We look at other real estate agents, mortgage brokers, lenders, and they seem it comes so easy to them. Why not me? Is it just me? I feel really stupid. That's a big one. So when you muster up then the courage to record something, it's this constant loop of record, redo everything, and mentally you beat yourself up to the point where the relationship with content creation, it actually makes you feel sick. You ever felt that kind of feeling inside when you know you're overdue a bill that you should have paid a few weeks back, and you're like, oh, hopefully they don't charge me. It's that exact same feeling, right? And it makes you avoid doing it like the plague, even though you know that would do so much great things for your business. So instead of creating content, even though you need to, you go and start doing random shit instead of because at least I'm doing something mode, and silently you hate yourself inside because you fear wasting time, being judged, or getting it wrong. Perfectionism, basically. So I want you to know that all of this is completely normal. We're here in a safe space. But I want to offer you a new way to view content creation as a whole. You see, for me, content creation has never been about getting the best piece of content out there. I can point to, I've posted probably about 3,000 videos on TikTok, right? I'm years ahead of most people, probably in here, but I'm also years behind some others. If you've been on content, I saw one agent here has been in real estate since 99. He's probably been posted on Facebook since it started back in the 2000s, or social media. Okay. But you'll notice that I could probably point to 10 posts that have driven 80% of my revenue for my business. Okay. But I had to post those other ones to get that 10 posts. So it's never been about the best piece of content, nor has my expectation been the result of my posting content. So if you've ever had a conversation with me about getting the best piece of content out, none of you are clients. This is a client training I'm sharing with you. Norm, you probably see 10 minutes later, I'm seeing a video. Literally, I'll give you my TikTok, and after this, go on to in an hour or so. There's probably me talking about what I'm talking about with you. So let's get into the actual practical, because I've given you more like the story and help kind of reframe some mindset. So let me give you something practical that you can take away, because that's ultimately, I'm here to train you and to help you as your coach. So start talking about your daily experiences, things you wish your current clients, buyers, sellers, people in the DMs, prospects already knew, frustrate you every time you feel you have to explain yourself for the thousandth time. The painting, what color should I paint my house? Right? What are the mortgage rates? When should I buy a house? All that kind of stuff. The industry jokes. Be mindful of this one, only if you're doing B2B, not B2C, right? A lot of real estate agents, I'm speaking specifically to realtors, they'll be like, oh, when that prospect hangs up or doesn't show to the listing, you're literally repelling all of the potential buyers and sellers because you're speaking to other real estate agents. So just be very clear on industry jokes. Talk about industry jokes around like a house or something that relates to that person. Personal stuff your friends would love to hear you talk about. So where are we for time? I think I've got like, how many time? I've got like 7 minutes. Cool. We're getting through this pretty quick. How? Very simple. Find a topic or a problem. Literally think about here's the thing. Do this exercise for me. In the comments right now, I see some comments coming through. Write a problem that one of your buyers or sellers or one of your clients have faced in the past few days, right? We're on Thursday. What's a problem one of them have faced this week? Write it in the comments. Pick a content type that I'll share with. Pick the content topic, find another topic or problem, repeat. This is the cycle. It's the system. So the content types that you want to create comes to 3 types of content: advice, story, and opinion. That's all the 3 we ever post about. Advice, super easy. This is one of my go-tos because I'm an educator about creating valuable content and headlines fast. So let's say to ask a question from my research and flip it. So someone asked me, how do I get more engagement on my TikTok? I flip this to 7 ways to increase engagement on your TikTok, or my favorite engagement hack to get more leads, or the #1 mistake that people make when trying to get engagement. See how I did that? I took one question, and all you have to do is take a question from the dozens of responses that you get asked from your clients, and you make a hook. Hook is that first 2 to 3 seconds. Think of it kind of like a headline, right? And again, I'm speaking to very beginner social media people here, but I think sometimes if we're advanced, we need a reminder. But if we're beginner, we need new information. So a hook is what you say or show in that first 2 to 3 seconds, kind of like a headline in a newspaper. When we read a newspaper, we read the headline, then we continue to read the text underneath. And then this is very easy content ideas. You have a database full of prompts from your audience. And the best thing is, if you're trying to attract more of the audience you're working with, it makes sense to talk about the things that you talk about with your existing clients. Second is story. Imagine all of your research as data is written on a wall. Imagine it's on a giant dartboard. Imagine throwing a dart and picking one at random. Where did it land? Right, from here, tell a story related to that talking point. So let's take the same example where someone asks, how do I get more engagement on my content? From here, I'd think of a relevant story that teaches them something too. Okay, got an idea. Let's form a quick story of that. The idea, how I taught my friend to get more engagement or post more consistently. So it's me sharing a story of how I help them. I'm showing them. So the moral, creating content doesn't have to be a chore, just needs to be a habit. Getting engagement is all about asking the right type of questions to your audience so they give you the right type of responses. That's very easy. right? Or triggering, something that said engagement could be a trigger, polarizing opinion, hot take. That's the second. Third is a personal opinion. People buy you before they buy what it is that you do. You're probably in a very crowded space right now in terms of your town, your area, wherever you are. There's tons of real estate agents. It's one of the most competitive niches that you can be in. So they need to believe in you rather than what it is that you do, because they can go and pick any agent, but we need them to pick you. This is where this works. So personal opinion. So it's a great way to get people talking and also looking up to you. So this builds authority and engagement with the right type of people. So this will pull from the research, it'll make bold claims, then back them up. Then ask for the audience's opinion, right? So I might say creating content and getting more engagement is like a muscle. When you build the habit, it becomes easy, effortless, and consistent to get results. What about you? Like what helps you create content and be inspired to post consistently? What gets you the most engagement on your posts? See how I'm doing that? I'm now sharing my opinion about engagement and content, and then I'm asking for the feedback. So posts like this give quick tips, remind people what you can help with. You can also create discussions that might be controversial, spark a reaction from the audience. Just make sure that it's something that your ideal clients would like that might scare away the non-ideal ones, right? So if you're heavily political, you can talk about politics, but only if you really only want to work with those type of political stance people, right? It's okay. Now we've done that. Second part of it. I'm going very quick here. I understand that. Hopefully paying attention, but I will share this doc after. Pick a content topic, right? So you've got your idea, pick a topic. And this is a brain dump. I'm not going to go through them all. I'll go through one or two. You'll have this after. So just pick it, right? So let's talk about engagement. Maybe I'm going to talk about a mistake, the common mistake that most people make when trying to get more engagement on TikTok. Maybe it's a contrarian belief. Could be like a stop talking about boring content if you want more comments. That's a belief, right? Stop talking about yourself if you want more comments. So I'm talking about engagement. A case study. Here's how I helped one of my clients who was only getting a few comments per post to average over 100,000 comments per post with one simple tweak to their content. That's a case study. Okay. And by the way, then I haven't added this in here, but I've got what I give to a lot of my clients, and I can probably add this into the training afterwards, then plug it into the different types of content that works well on TikTok. So is it talking head? Is it B-roll? Is it voiceover? Is it text on screen? Is it a trend? There's tons of ways that we can package an idea into a TikTok video as well. So what have we done? We've taken one idea, we've created 3 different ways to talk around that idea. And then we've created 11 different ways to present that idea. And then when we talk about delivery, we can 10x that as well. So we've taken one idea and we can make 100 posts from one idea. Very simple. I've got some examples, but how are we for Debbie for time? I'm just conscious. I don't want to go over here. I'm on time here.
We're good. Keep going. I think this is super valuable. So keep going.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So the framework you want to be using, pick a problem or topic. And again, I could do some live with people after this in the Q&A. Pick a content type, create a post. So let me literally go into the comments here, and I can see if I can do some with you. How to invest in real estate. Okay, cool. So this is an educational one. So I would actually talk about if you've invested in real estate, I would actually kind of say, if you were given some advice, how to invest in real estate if you're speaking to beginners, here's how to invest in real estate, even if you've only got $1,000. Super easy for beginners. Here's how to invest in real estate without any money. That's some advice. A story. I remember buying my first real estate investment property when I was working a 9 to 5, only making $3,000 a month, right? That speaks to a objection that people have, is that I can't invest in real estate if I don't have enough money, if I've only got a few $1,000s. A personal opinion. I would actually say as to why real estate is better than stocks in terms of building long-term wealth, right? If you want to build long-term wealth, forget about stocks. That's just a waste of time. You need to be investing in real estate. Here, so I've said a contrarian belief, I've shared an educational, I've shared a story. So I'm going to plug in all of these in. I've got some examples. I won't go through them here, but I can kind of certainly take some more examples and kind of show you. Funding for difficult buyer situations, right? This is the topic. So funding for buyer situations. So I'd flip it, right? So for example, I'd be a bit more specific on a difficult buyer situation, right? So I would say something more like, hey, the difficult buyer situations, this could be like poor credit, for example, right? The number one people mistake when it comes to applying for a loan if you've got under X amount credit score or something, right? The mistake that people make. Some advice is like, hey, here's how to get approved how to get pre-approved for a loan, even if you have a credit score of X or below. That's some advice, teaching them how to do it. A story. Here's how I recently helped a client buy their first home, and when they come to me, they only had a credit score of X amount, right? So you're sharing now a case study. So it's all, again, I'm doing this live, and I'm saying this not because I'm an expert, well, I am an expert at TikTok, but I've done this so long that it almost becomes reps. I don't know anything in terms of like buying or selling, but I can guarantee if I asked each and every one of you here about buying, selling, the process, you get to me like that, because that's what your expertise is in. Okay. Common myths about requirements to buy a home. Yeah, tons of them. Right. You've already got tons of ideas. I love seeing you get all this, this kind of spark and this imagination. So when you think about it and you just write that, brain dump it all. At the end of every day, what questions have people asked me today? What topics have I spoken to my clients about? What beliefs did they have that I had to shift their mindset beliefs? What did I see in the news that was like, hey, this is really great information? What did I share with my friends? What properties did I see that have just come up on the market in my area? What did we recently do with one of my clients to increase the value of their home? What did I sell today? Right? All of this is great content. So here's your homework. I would say literally just pick a topic or a problem for those that have in here dropped your common myths. I see a ton of them in the comments here. Create one advice post, create one story post, and create one opinion post. Just do that, right? It all just takes one post. All focus just on the next post. That's it. That's my TED talk. I'm opened up any questions, Debbie. I'll stop sharing my screen now. It's up to you if you want me to share this with the group. I can share it in the chat. You just let me know. But
Yeah,
any
go ahead and
questions?
share it in the chat, and then we'll all be able to download it, and I can also link it in the YouTube description when,
Cool.
excuse me, when I upload it. Okay, so if you have a question, Tushar, do you have a question or a comment? Okay, unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, hi, Joe. I really like the way you spoke today and gave a presentation. I just wanted to know, you have developed your own style or kind of hack where you are posting, you're getting so much of reach. But here, I'm in India. So in India, we are just banned about TikTok. So can we use the same strategy to Insta or LinkedIn? So does it work?
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, and I know it's banned in India, TikTok. So what I would do is there are different types of tones or different types of deliverables on how you present information and present value. So a LinkedIn is different to a TikTok, it's different to an Instagram. Okay, so it's just packaging. But what I've taught you today is that whilst I'm TikTok, take these as a baseline to create ideas for any platform, but then you need to just apply it to that specific platform on how information and value is best delivered, if that makes sense. Did that help answer your question?
Yeah, awesome, awesome job. I will definitely connect you after, and really helpful session. Thank you. Yeah.
Excellent. Jose.
Josh, hold on. Oh, can you hear me?
Hello. Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Do you have a YouTube video on how to use TikTok?
I don't, but I have a beginner's course that I offer people. I'm not here to sell. I was told, hey, don't sell anything. But I think that may be coming up. But I do run a community. I've got a community and a very beginner's course that I do offer to people. So if I'm not going to promote it here, but if Debbie gives you permission to share my links and that, I can certainly kind of share the links with you after. But
Can you
I do.
can you please put your
Yeah.
contact information in the chat?
Josh, yes, you do have permission to drop your contact information and your courses or whatever in the chat, how they would follow up with you
Okay,
on
cool.
that. Certainly. Anyone else have a question? You can certainly unmute yourself or raise your hand, whichever.
Great job, Josh. You didn't use and not one time.
I've had thousands of hours of coaching and I've recorded thousands of hours of talking head videos, but thank you. That's a great observation as well.
Excellent. Thanks. Gary.
Oh, yes. I just wanted to ask what limit of time would you
Oh, Gary, you muted yourself, I think, or somebody muted you. I apologize.
Okay, I'm back on. Thank you, Debbie. What limit of time would you have on each recording or each posting?
It's a really great question, Gary. And there is no limit in terms of, hey, make it 32 seconds or 7 seconds. What I'd always say is how concisely can you get the message across in the quickest amount of time without leaving out the best bits? Okay. And now I understand that's probably frustrating to hear because it's like, Josh, I was expecting you to tell me every video needs to be 51 or 52 seconds. But what I would say, and I encourage a lot of my clients to say, is test all three. Test a short form, test a mid form, test a long form. TikTok allows you to upload up to 10 minutes. And they have that function for a reason. You need to find what works for you. And that's really where a bit of testing will come into it.
Excellent. Thanks. Kirk.
Yes. So regarding marketing yourself, I mean, are there any alternate methods, maybe using AI or anything like that, to make videos that you have found to have some success outside of being your personal brand on there?
Yes, you could. But when I think about a personal brand, it's personal in the sense of it's me. You see my nuances, you see my expressions, you see my phrases, you see my mistakes, the way that I talk. I'm usually a one take kind of guy. So if I mess up, I'm posting it anyway, because there's a transfer of energy in an idea and an energy in the moment. You can do that. But what I've found amongst myself, amongst those that I coach, is that it doesn't have the same impact as a human to human connection. I think now, as especially AI evolves, we're starting to see that doesn't sound human. It still sounds a bit AI, or that doesn't look human. That all looks a bit, why is your mouth moving, but none of your face moving and you're not blinking at me kind of vibe, right? So right now, I think double down on the personal brand, be yourself, show your character. That's going to have far more success than a AI replicant of you.
Thank you for that. Now, as far as the algorithm, when you post, who's the post going to? Is it the whole world, or is it more so in your general area that you live in? Because I'm not really that familiar with TikTok, to be honest with you.
So it's geolocation specific. So it'll always get pushed out to people within your country first. Okay. The reason for that is because the way you speak, the way you sound, the language that you use, the different types of events that are happening are usually specific to yourself. That's why when I was Tusha, I think Tusha can't, sorry if I mispronounce your name, when we're talking around India, that's banned there, so we can't reach Indian people. But I would say, so it's going to be geo-specific. But with the goal, if you want to be targeting people close to your area, I've worked with real estate agents, mention the place. Like, hey, here's the 10 best things to do this weekend with kids in Kansas City. Because just saying that word, especially on TikTok, the algorithm listens and be like, oh, you've said Kansas City. That means you must be talking about Kansas City. Let me put this content in front of people who also talk about Kansas City. So that's where you can use words, phrases, keywords in your content and how you speak to reach more of those people. Okay.
Excellent. Monica.
Hi, good morning. Sorry if you already covered this. Great presentation, by the way. Absolutely love TikTok. I probably watch it more than try to be on it. A little bit of an addict. How do you get videos out there that are going to push past 200, 400 views and really increase your following? And so then, because I know once you pass amongst X, then you could start marketing on TikTok Shop or start doing things a little more proactive. But how do you kind of beat that algorithm to be able to actually do something on the platform?
That's a great question. And there's certain layers to this. Okay. And there's a few beliefs in there. And if I'm wrong, correct me. But you don't need a big following to start monetizing or getting leads or getting sales, right? You could drive traffic to the DMs. If you're interested in this house, send me a DM. If you're interested in seeing this listing, I've put my cell number in the bio, text me the address. Okay. So that's a first, because that, again, a big following is harmful in the sense if it's not the right type of following, but you can monetize with 0 followers. I've seen it before. On the second point, to your question around views, how do we get past that 200 to 400 views? Reason why most people get views is because they don't capture the attention, so they're not scroll stopping. And 80 to 90% of videos fail because of what happens in that first 3 seconds. If you're not capturing that attention, people are just scrolling on. So what you need to learn and what you need to master is, how do I create scroll stopping hooks that capture attention? Because it's a lot easier to keep people's attention than it is to capture their attention. So what I would focus on, if right now you're getting 200 to 300 to 400 views, you can't break past that, only focus on improving your hooks. Just spend all of your time, attention, and focus on that, because that's the big thing that you need to fix that will help to increase your views.
Okay, that's great. So is it better to do hooks than verbal content rather than coasting off trending sounds?
Hooks come in different formats or different ways, a visual hook or a spoken hook. Okay, so there's 2 different types of hooks. When you pair the 2 and have it's powerful, you can really get a lot more attention. But what I tend to do, because if I'm doing speaking head, it's what you say and what you show. So this could be a headline that people read. If you're doing, maybe it's a listing. A good example of this is, I've worked with many real estate agents. What is that? And if you run any Facebook ads here and you've had success, you'll know that the images are really important. What image do you show on that first image on a carousel? It's usually if it's got an amazing open plan living area with a kitchen, because that's, the outside could look crappy and decrepit, but if you show that kitchen, that's going to get people stopping and scrolling and clicking. So similarly, if you're showing a listing and it's maybe a voiceover or it's just text on screen, you're not physically speaking, show the best part of the property first, because then people just pay attention and keep looking. So I would say pairing the 2, but if you only do talking head, maybe it's the visual hook. If you're doing non-talking head, it's like, what are you showing? A pattern interrupt. I'm a natural pattern interrupter. I've grown long hair. It's taken me about 10 years, right? So naturally, people are like, wow, look at this guy. He's got long ginger hair. That's something different.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Sorry, Jean, one last question, and then we're going to do some breakout rooms.
Okay, just what, can you give us an example of a hook that you would use on a video?
Can you give me an example of what type of video, or what would the idea or the topic be?
I want to talk about first-time home buyers and different programs that I've got available for them.
Okay. Okay, cool. So this could be I could create a curiosity hook. Is like, here's a first-time home buyer program that no first-time home buyer knows about. Something like that.
Okay.
First-time home, I shouldn't be sharing this first-time home buyer program because it's supposed to be a secret, but I'll share it just for you because you're my favorite viewer.
Okay.
Why is no other real estate agent talking about this first-time home buyer program? Because it's making first-time home buyers step into the home ladder without having any money down.
Gotcha.
Excellent.
Thank you.
What? It's around emotions, creating emotions, curiosity. That one was.
That sounded a lot like a lot of FOMO to me.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I want to see this. What am I missing out on?
Exactly. Okay, so we are going to go into breakout rooms, and there will be 4 to 5 people in each breakout room. Josh, I know I didn't prepare you for this, but do you have a icebreaker question for the breakout room?
I do not, but I mean, I can go onto my trusty ChatGPT, and I'm pretty sure they could spin one up for me very quickly.
Okay, so anything about your TikTok topic today? Like, what is the most? What are you going to create your first TikTok about after the call?
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
do that. Okay. So everyone, what is your first TikTok after this call going to be created about? Give us the topic and maybe the hook. So here we go. All right, everybody go to your room. You should all have rooms assigned. All right, you guys, we're all starting to come back here. One thing that I want to tell you that I always forget is drop your contact information in the chat. I always forget to drop mine too, so I'm doing that right now. So drop your contact information in the chat, and then we are going to do one more round. We've got time for one more round of breakout rooms, and so Anyone have anything that they heard that was super cool during the breakout rooms that they want to unmute and share with us? No one heard a great idea?
Peggy, in the
All
group
right.
I was in,
Tell
we talked about creating a hook. You know, one of the things Joshua brought up is you got to get somebody in the first 3 seconds. So whatever your hook is, go to ChatGPT and put it just whatever, tell it you need a hook in the first 3 seconds of your presentation. Put your presentation, you know, because it's a short one anyway, and it'll come up with 10 ideas. And now you've got 10 hooks for 10 different videos, TikToks.
Love that. Love that. One of the TikTok creators that I follow put a new one out there yesterday that was super cool. That the first 3 seconds, something eye-catching in the video. And, you know, usually she's holding a microphone like this. This time she clipped the microphone to a banana and held the banana. And they're like, this is a hook, you know? So anything that's kind of unusual, weird, you know, can catch people's attention and make them continue to watch your video. Go ahead, Josh. I see you unmuted.
No, I sometimes flick my hair, but I was on a discussion with someone the other day, a few clients, one-on-one clients, and I mentioned that I should probably grab a carrot and just hold a carrot, because I think that'd be a good connotation between like ginger, red top, carrot top, all that kind of stuff. And it's a visual scroll stopper, pattern interrupt. Why are you holding a carrot? It's a really great example, Debbie, of like a visual hook made you stop, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Love it. All right, you guys.
That's opening up a whole host of ideas, Joshua. Thank you. If you know what I mean. If you know, you know.
All right. Well, okay. So we're going to move on beyond that, and we have time for one more breakout room, an 8-minute room. So I recreated the rooms, and go back and talk about how about the visual hook this time? We just gave you some ideas. Give us a visual hook idea. All right, go to your rooms. All right, you guys. What a great call today, huh? It is 9 o'clock straight up. Does anybody have any last minute comments about things that happened in their breakout rooms they want to share?
Yeah, Zillow catfish. Go to a
What's
home and one of the ladies said Zillow catfish. She looked it up on ChatGPT and said you go to a home or you take a picture of a home and you look inside, it's like a catfish, Zillow catfish. So maybe it looks pretty from outside. You get there, you're like, oh my God, this is horrible. Catfish, you know, where you think it's one thing and it's something different.
Okay. Okay, certainly. Anyone
So,
else? Nobody else had something super cool. Okay, well, all right, you guys, we're gonna put a cap on this one, Joshua. There you are. I see you on the screen still. Thank you so much for being here with us today and sharing all your TikTok knowledge. I assume that you dropped your contact information and a link where they can find you and your training and stuff in the chat.
Yeah. So if you're on TikTok, it's Ginger Marketer, right? Ginger Marketer is my brand name on there. I'll just tag it one time here as well. And I mean, I'm happy to share the document with yourself, Debbie, if anyone asks for it, but I'll quickly share the document and also my TikTok as we wrap up here and go into the chat and quickly grab both of those now.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. And so for anyone else who, first of all, make sure that your contact information is in the chat. And Jocelyn is here, and she has volunteered to send out the chat to anyone who is on their phone and cannot download it, because I know that's a challenge. So if that is the case, just let Jocelyn know in the chat that you need her to send it to you, and she will. Put your email address in there. Great, Brandy. Anyone else who needs the chat, just let Jocelyn know. Thank you guys all so much for being here. It was a great call today. We'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thanks again.